All right. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the pod. Got my boy Ali here with me. Ali, how you doing, man?
What's cracking, Michael? I'm doing good. A long time no talk. We're gonna do a little video version of this. Well,
Yeah.
hopefully it'll come out good. I don't know. I feel like I have a face for radio, so we'll see how it turns out.
Oh man, it's been a while since we done one of these episodes, so it's been quite a bit that's changed in the NBA.
Yeah, All-Star break already here. Are you gonna watch it? I'm not gonna watch that shit. Probably.
If I have time, I'll watch it, but it's not a priority for me.
I know Curry's in the 3-point contest, but like I said, I don't pay attention to any All-Star. I know the dunk contest, people were mad. I actually like having a lot of no-name dudes.
Yeah. Cassius
Obi
Stanley's about to
Toppin
be
is known.
Obi Toppin is
Yeah,
a dunk. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Cassius Stanley.
I'm gonna leave that in. I'm gonna leave my sister in there, bro.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Obi Toppin, Cassius Stanley, and see, I don't even know the other
Anthony
cat.
Simons.
Oh, okay. He's been cool for the Blazers coming off the bench and stuff. So, yeah, like I said, I like having no-name guys. I feel like, obviously, they're going to come in with a lot of energy, and they're going to bring it. And, I know Stanley can get up. I know Toppin can get up. I didn't know Simmons was a dunker.
He can get up. He doesn't
it?
really show it off too much.
Okay. Because you probably can't get past anyone when trying to drive the ball. But.
Oh, man. So, yeah, we made a lot of predictions in the beginning of the season with some of those introductory podcasts. So we can run through just real quick since we're at the All-Star break. We can see how those predictions are coming along.
Yeah, just having a little transparency, right? Seeing if we actually know what we're talking about. So I feel like I've been 50-50 so far when it comes to my predictions. So I'll start off with what I was wrong about, and that's what I feel like actually 90% of the NBA fan base was wrong about, and that's the Jeremy Grant signing for the Pistons.
Yeah.
And, we all made fun of it. The whole NBA made fun of it type of thing. We saw it stupid. Pistons still had a bad offseason, I think we could say, but I didn't even think the Denver Nuggets should sign Jeremy Grant back for role player money. Not that he's not a good role player, but I thought he was someone that they could kind of lose. And then Detroit gives him all this money, and they let Christian Wood go. And it's Jeremy Grant your number one option, and it's going, what? That makes, I don't even think Jeremy Grant could put up 15 points a game off, just open catch and shoot opportunities. And I don't have the stats in front of me, but he has balled this year, man. And I know he's putting up good numbers, and the crazy part is he's doing it efficiently, or efficiently enough. Like, I believe his true shooting numbers are either slightly better or the same the last time I checked his season with the Nuggets last year, which is pretty crazy because, last year he was doing it off a lot of open looks and just here and there. This year he's doing it off high volume, being the main guy. And, so shout out to Jeremy Grant, man. Like, every player kind of wants that opportunity. He got it, and he proved us wrong, man. I mean, he's had multiple 30-point games, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he's balled. He's been the man. And, night in, night out, it's not like Pistons have a lot of options, so he's going to be the main focus of the defense, and he's doing his thing. So I was dead wrong on Jeremy Grant being the number one option. I thought it would be Draymond Green status a little bit, to be honest with you, him having to do all that, but it hasn't been.
Yeah, I didn't. I had some faith in him, but this was way past what I expected for him. He's averaging over 20 points a game, and just like
the Pistons. The Pistons couldn't have imagined this, right? Like, now they look smart, but fuck, like, he's out there doing his thing, bro, and it's crazy. Like, and the Pistons are weird because obviously their win-loss record is not good. They weren't expected to win this year, but they've taken a lot of good teams down to the crunch. I feel like all their wins have been against some really good teams too. So
they beat the Lakers, they beat the Nets.
I think that just goes with having a lot of guys like Jeremy Grant trying to prove himself night in and night out. So
yeah.
So you got any? I know you've been wrong about a lot of shit, so you gotta have something.
Well, I had faith in the Rockets. I thought that they would be a team that could definitely make the playoffs.
This is after the Harden trade and signing Cousins. You had faith in them, correct?
So yeah, before in the preseason, I wasn't 100% sure. At that point, we weren't 100% sure if Harden was going to stay. So a lot of things had changed since then. But man, I thought with John Wall and Boogie and Christian Wood, I thought that they would be able to do pretty well. I thought that they would be able to at least sneak into the playoffs. Man, Christian Wood went down after James Harden got traded, and then it's been a wrap since then. I don't think they won since Christian Wood went down.
Well, yeah, I think was it 13 straight losses to go into the All-Star break. But they were looking good. Like you said, they were playing good basketball. Shit, they were one of the better defensive teams in the league for a second. And yeah, Christian Wood went down. They've had a lot of injuries. Oladipo. Wall doesn't play back-to-backs, right? It's like every other night Wall was out or Oladipo was out, Eric Gordon's out. PJ Tucker is a shell of himself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they're going to – the best thing for him, and I think everyone kind of agrees, is trading a lot of those dudes. You know what I mean? There's no point of having – there isn't really a direction right now with them, so they need to just trade. Like, Tucker needs to go. Gordon needs to go. Oladipo turned down massive money, so they probably want to trade him in the deadline. Just get some assets.
Yeah, so now at this point, there was some interesting stuff about whether or not they were going to keep their draft pick. They're going to have a draft pick, but it's all about all the complicated swaps that are involved. They might have a top 3 or top 4 pick, or they might have a pick that's not in the lottery. It's up in the air.
The crazy part is they need to lose more, and they've already lost 13 straight. Yep. So, I mean, they just need to keep on losing and losing. Hey, I like Jayshawn Tate, though.
Yep,
Jayshawn Tate is nice. Daniel House hasn't really been the same since he got caught sneaking in a girl trying to get COVID. Who else is there? Yeah, I mean, Justin Patton, he's, nice young piece, but they're just... that was a good one, huh? Justin Patton. You didn't think I was going to drop that one. But, yeah, enough about the Rockets. That you were wrong about that one, so we'll remember that. One I was right about is, we did the Sacramento Kings podcast, is I said they need to trade. If it comes down to Bogdanović and Buddy Hield, they need to trade Buddy Hield. Bogdanović is the better player. Hield, they're paying Hield way too much money. He's not that good. He's not worth it. He already has problems with Luke Walton. He's been having attitude problems. Well, they tried to trade Bogdanović and it didn't come through, but they made their decision to keep Buddy Hield, and they are a fucking mess right now, bro. I mean, it looked okay for them, and they are just another disaster. Walton will probably get fired soon, especially with Lloyd Pierce getting fired. Usually when another team ends up making the first move, it gives the confidence to the other teams that have been thinking about letting go of the coach. Walton's going to get fired. Hield is just... I don't care what the stats are. The team isn't playing well. I know Hield isn't playing well. He's not playing up to that money. I feel like he still had enough of potential that you could have got some assets for him. Like, I know Oladipo and Hield was a real thing, flip-flopping those two. And, they chose Hield, and it's been terrible. They're just not... Fucking Marvin Bagley's dad be tweeting Luke Walton every night and shit. Yeah, so they are a mess, man, the Sacramento Kings. And it's just, you have to get over that hump. No matter how close you are, you have to find a way to get over it. Because if you don't, you just keep trying to climb up that hill. And, yeah, they've been fucking Kings. So I was right about that one. They should have traded Hield. Not even to say they'd be a lot better right now, but I do think they'd be in a better position than they are. Because right now, they are not good, and they got a lot of money on their salary cap, too, with Buddy Hield making all that and De'Aaron Fox. Dude, De'Aaron Fox is terrible at the free throw line in the clutch. I don't know if you know.
In the clutch?
I didn't know that. They might hack a Fox. Like,
really?
They hack Shaq. I mean, De'Aaron Fox is bad, bro. De'Aaron Fox cannot... He cannot hit free throws at the end of the game.
I'm looking right now. His free throw percentage is at 67%.
That's terrible. That's fucking Lonzo Ball might be better than that. It's like De'Aaron Fox is like when we play 21 at the park and you get to 20 and you keep missing and you go back to 13. Like he can't make the big ones at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Also, Marvin Bagley has not been very good this year. He's he was talking about De'Aaron Fox being bad at the line. You know what Marvin Bagley's shooting at the free throw line this season?
46%.
Okay, not that bad. 53%. That's still not good.
Yeah, I mean they that's your two starters right there that can't even shoot over 70% at the free throw line. Yeah, they're a mess, man. Yeah. They're not good.
Bagley's trying.
You got any more?
Oh no, we don't need to talk anymore about Marvin Bagley. So.
You got any more predictions? You remember?
Man, let's see. This wasn't exactly a prediction, but I remember I said in the beginning of the season that Jaylen Brown could be a number one scoring option for several teams in the NBA, and he's been balling. So it's been a really.
Oh, you think that's right? You feel like that prediction was right so far?
So far, yeah, I feel like he's showing, he's a really good scorer, and he can score several different ways too. So he's been balling.
All right, so I'll go straight into mine that I feel is like a tie. It's too early to say it's right, and it hasn't been enough to say it's wrong either. So, but I said that the Celtics can't get caught up in this. Oh, our stars, they're young. If a dude, what is Jaylen Brown in year 4?
Gosh, he got drafted 2015? I want to say he got drafted 2015, 2016. Let me check.
So he said
just a sec.
He might be year 5, and Jason Tatum might be year 4.
Jason Tatum got drafted 2017.
2017.
Yeah.
So this is year 4 right now.
Yeah.
He's not young. And my big thing, the Celtics need to stop. Well, not need to. They're both good. They're not going to trade Tatum. So no. It wouldn't be Tatum. It would be Jaylen Brown or Marcus Smart. So my prediction was that the Celtics need to, if they just keep their core, they're never going to get over the hump also, which is for them win a championship, right? Or make a finals. They still haven't made a finals either in these last 4 years where they've been very good. And I just feel like people get caught up. I think the Raptors is a great comparison, right? Where, DeRozan and Lowry are still young. They're going to figure it out. When LeBron leaves the East, they're going to figure it out, all that stuff. And, it took the Raptors trading DeRozan and getting someone better to go figure it out, right? Yeah. And I think that's what I mean with the Celtics. Like, you can find excuses, and it's so hard to win in the league. I understand Celtics are still very good with this core, but if you want to win a championship, which they've tried to do, they brought in Kyrie, they brought in Hayward, they brought in Kemba, who's been terrible this year. I mean, Kemba Walker has been bad this year. Fucking Draymond Green might be better offensively than him this year.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like but it's not on those guys. It's on Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And I'm going to throw Marcus Smart in there too because he's part of that young core that they've kept together. So I feel like one of them should be traded and they need to just, you try to bring in guys around them and it hasn't worked. Whether it's injuries, Kyrie and Kemba, I know their knees, but look at Kyrie now, he couldn't get done. Hayward didn't work out, injuries too, but that's just part of the game, obviously. So that's my thing. Like they need to bring in someone. They need to trade one of those three, and I don't think those three are good enough together to get it done. And I think you can just keep circling around trying to say that it is, but until it happens, So I think it's a tie because they're 5th in the East right now, right? Or 4th or 5th or some shit like that. And that's why I feel like I can't be right because obviously they're going to go to playoffs and so we'll see what they do. But I feel that I'm gonna be right on that prediction. I don't think they get over the hump again the way they've been playing.
Well, as currently constructed, there's no way that they're going to get over the hump. Kemba isn't playing well enough. They're not deep enough on the wings. Their bigs are just okay. Tyson, when they're starting Tice and Tristan Thompson, it doesn't seem like it's a lineup that's going to go deep into the playoffs. Mainly because it's just so tough for them to generate offense with that lineup with the two bigs. So, one thing that has seemed pretty clear is that the Celtics don't want to trade Jaylen Brown. They want to keep him because it's really tough to find two really good wings, especially two wings of that caliber, especially if Jaylen Brown continues to play like this. So, for me, it seems like Kemba isn't working out, so they just need a point guard who can help them get easier shots. Cause
they had Kyrie already, and that didn't work out also.
No.
No, Kyrie is a different
Kyrie is good at getting Kyrie shots. Now getting Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum good shots, sometimes, but you can't really rely on that consistently. So for me, it seems like they need to move on from Kemba because maybe not this season, but maybe in the off season, if they had someone like a Kyle Lowry, I think Kyle Lowry would be perfect on this team. Just some point guard. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you. They need to move on from Kemba, but you're not going to get a lot from Kemba right now. I don't think, and that's why I think if you want to trade someone and then get really, get something back for it, you're going to have to trade one of those three, Jaylen, Jason, or Marcus, and it's not going to be Tatum. Even though I think Tatum is still a little overrated, Tatum is the best player on their team, and, they're not going to trade Tatum. So then it goes down to Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. Or, again, you're still very good, but I just, you're right. Their role players, the people around them aren't that great, but, they've moved people in and out of those positions and haven't got it done. So the common denominator, I feel like, is those three. And I'm a big one, it's about, if you're going to be a star on the team, it's your job to come through and put it through. And I just haven't seen them do it yet.
Yeah. Also, one thing that I was thinking about, since Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have to work so hard to get every single shot that they take, they are some of the most some of the best difficult shot makers in the league. So it really,
that's on them too, though.
It's a little on them, but also they don't have anyone around them that can really Marcus Smart kind of, but besides those three, there aren't really a lot of people that can come off the bench on that team that can really give them a little pop in terms of moving the ball around, being able to beat someone off the dribble. Jeff Teague has been really bad for them this season. Jeff Teague has been
he's
kind of terrible.
He's not an NBA player no more.
Yeah,
he's not an NBA player no more.
Yeah. So now it just had me thinking, if Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have to keep working this hard to get offense, is there going to be a point where they just say, yo, man, this is tough. Do I want to keep doing this? You know what I'm saying? Now it's going to be on the front office to help them out, to get them some help. So from there, if the front office continues to fail, then are they going to end up saying, do I want to stay here? Do I want to keep working this hard on offense? This is kind of what Kevin Durant was saying when he was with Oklahoma City. He was saying, man, I'm the only dude on this starting lineup who can reliably get offense from any point on the floor.
Hey man, don't slander Russell Westbrook.
Hey man, it wasn't me who said it.
Don't slander OKC Westbrook.
Don't shoot the messenger.
I like that. No, I just think I don't think it'll get to that point with Tatum and Brown. If it does, it's going to be because they can't get over their hump themselves, and then I think it just goes back to my main point because I think the front office, again, especially Tatum, he's obviously taken care of very well in Boston, right? Like, he's the main focal point for that organization. Jaylen, maybe, because he is the second guy, but I don't think either of them are to that point, too, where they can kind of, maybe Jason, but not Jaylen, to where, hey, I'm not giving enough yet. I don't think they've reached that star status. Because who's the worst player that has done that? A lot of guys have done. See, that's where people get mad about it. and go, well, they signed a contract and that's BS. And look at this. Well, they can just, guys can just, if they don't like their situation, they could just leave. In my opinion, no, because the guys that have done it are the top 2-3% of the league, right? They get to do it just because in any job, if you're that good, you get to call the shots because the other people are going to be willing to trade for you. And then that, the team that's trading is going to get something back. Anthony Davis, arguably a top 5 guy in the league, right? Mm-hmm. James Harden, the best offensive player in the league. I mean, what does he throw? 20 assists a game right now? Like, it's something crazy. Who else has done it lately? Maybe Kawhi. Kawhi with the Spurs
Kawhi, that was also a little bit of backstabbing in that scenario. Because you remember Tony Parker was throwing major shade. There was a lot of dudes in that locker room that were throwing shade.
Yeah, well, there's all types of, with his injury, his uncle and all that. But Kawhi was already arguably the best player on that team when they won their last championship, right? So it's the top guys that do it. Yeah. So again, it's not like fucking I don't know, Anthony like if Simons. Zach LaVine came out. Yeah, well, no, even more than that, like I don't think Zach LaVine could do it. Yeah. I really don't. Like I think maybe it'll get some media attention and with the Bulls, but it's not like the Bulls are just gonna sit there or the whole league is gonna go, okay, well we're gonna take LaVine, or LaVine might be shit out of luck if he tries to do something like that. So it's the top percent of people. Like Russell Wilson just came out and said it.
Oh really?
Right, Russell Wilson's. Yeah, see, for football at all. Yeah, Russell Wilson pretty much said he wants to make personnel decisions. Like he came out and said that shit on. Other people can't. Jimmy G can't do that. No. Right? Russell Wilson gets to do it because it's Russell. The Seahawks are either they're going to trade him because they know they're going to get something back, or they're going to be able, they're going to just stick it out because it's Russell Wilson. He's that good. So
yeah.
So I don't think Jalen and Jason have entered that conversation yet.
That's a good point, but as a lot of people are expecting that in the coming years, Jason Tatum is going to start to scratch that part of the upper echelon of the league. So, hey, we'll see. You also think that he's a little overrated, so.
Yeah, well, a lot of people think he already has, and I think it's just consistency.
Yeah.
The consistency aspect of it, I think, is just something where, I wouldn't say I haven't seen, because again, you look at Jason Tatum's numbers, they're very right. There is some proof to that. Like if you look at his numbers, you say, dude, this guy's a top player in the league. But nowadays, like we're gonna talk about, every team scores 130 points, so shit's kind of inflated right now. Not to take that away, because again, it's still the top guys putting up those numbers. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we can. That's pretty much all we had on those predictions. Any last things you want to say before we move on?
Nah, not the predictions. I'm 2 for 1, I guess. 2 or 1-1-1, so I'll take that so far.
So, yeah. So moving right along, man, this season has been an absolute nuclear bomb in terms of offense. So a lot of teams are putting up absolutely ridiculous offensive numbers. So Ali and I saw this, and we just kind of wanted to break down a little bit what's been going on in terms of the offensive side of the ball. So, Ali, anything you wanted to say on pace, on scoring in the league this season?
Yeah, it's pissing me off. But more than that, I feel that it's been coming for a while now, right? People have been. The game it's an offensive game now. It's not. I think this year it has really took off. It's already got to that point, and then it even hit just a whole higher level of just the amount of points that it gets scored and the lack of defense at times. And, so at first, I thought it was a lot of the older people complaining, back in my day, all that stuff. The game's changed, where for example, I don't think the game is less physical now than it was before. I actually really don't. People bring up the bad boy Pistons. That wasn't basketball. That was bullshit. Or you can say it was tough or whatever, but clotheslining people, doing stuff like that isn't. That wasn't good defense. They had to do that a lot if you look at the clips because they got beat playing bad defense at times. So, and again, maybe they were. I mean, obviously they were a good defensive team and stuff, but that that other shit that people try to call tough is not tough. I think obviously guys nowadays are as physically strong and fast or whatever you want to call it now. I think people still bang all the time. You just got to watch Zion Williams play to know that. I think, I don't think the game, I guess, is there more fouls called? Yes. Is there less fights? Yes, but I don't think that has anything to do with, guys, the game being actual basketball being physical. But my biggest thing is, right, everyone plays so fast nowadays, right? The pace is off. Everyone plays so fast, and everyone chucks threes. And again, the other aspect is it's not like, I think some people say, well, people just don't play defense night in and night out, and I don't think that's true. Also, to a point, I don't think it's true. I think we have to give credit that a big reason why there's so much scoring and so many threes being shot is because guys are as skilled as ever before offensively. Yep. Right? I mean, Dame Lillard, Zach LaVine, and Steph Curry get guarded every night. I don't care who they're playing. Like, when teams play those guys, they're doing everything they can to not let them shoot, and we just see the type of shots they make over people. Good defense all the time. I mean, there's your ninth man off the bench. The Warriors played Jordan Poole the other day off the G League. Or even better than that, Nico Mannion. And Nico Mannion was hitting some, catching the ball without dribbling threes with guys in his face. Like, though people can score nowadays. The shot, Jordan Clarkson, right? Just look at the Jazz and Jordan Clarkson.
Unconscious.
Like the types of shots they make is over good defense here and there. But, so, here, I'm just looking at my notes right now so I get out everything that I want. So, like you said, my main thing is how fast people play and the amount of threes they chuck, right? We know the amount of threes people shoot now is out of this world. It's even more this year. You got the stats, Michael. Isn't the league shooting like 37% from three or something, which is amazing? Like, that's the average or some shit like that.
Ali.
All right, well, I know you got a lot of numbers. I'll let you get into that later. But, yeah, that's the last time I looked. Like, that is amazing. You never heard of that before, guys, to be able to shoot that well. So everyone's playing fast. Everyone's checking threes. What I think it is, if you can do that, then do it. Like, the Jazz show pace and space. When you can play with good pace and you can space the floor, it's almost unguardable. Especially if, now it comes down to it's a make or miss league. So I understand that if you can do it, do it. My problem is now everyone's saying, okay, to win tonight, we have to outscore the other team. And I think I've always had a big problem with that. And I think that's where, it has turned some games into just track meets. And a lot of people say, whoever shoots a three better that night is going to win, right? There's not a lot of, some people say it takes the skill out of basketball. I get what they're saying. I don't go that far, but I do get what they're saying. You see huge leads in the first, first quarter and a half. And then you'll see that lead evaporate in no time. Just because of how fast and, the other team gets cold from three and the other team gets hot. And that's my problem. Like, I've never felt that you should do that. I'll go back to even when the Cavs and the Warriors played the first finals. I thought that was the best game plan the Cavs had with David Blatt. Now, they were kind of forced into it because Kevin Love and Kyrie went down. But remember, it was like, well, you're going to have to outscore the Warriors. They shoot so well, da-da-da. I mean, they're just... And this is before KD, right? This is when they were still playing some great basketball. But that first year they won. But what do you mean? Like, go play good defense. Make everything tough. If you make it tough, they might only score 102 instead of scoring 120. You know what I mean? And then you don't have to just outscore them. And remember, the Cavs took them to 6. It was a competitive series, and they had... just LeBron with all, just role players because they played great defense. They won the next year. The Cavs won, but they had to come back down from 3-1. And then the next 2 years again, when you play KD and them, you got to outscore them. The Cavs played fast with Ty Lue, right? Kevin Love, Kyrie. They had no shot of doing it. You look at the Rockets, were the team that gave the Warriors the most trouble, right? They did it with defense. Like, the Rockets' defense were phenomenal. They just switched everything and manned up. So I think it's having to outscore people. Go to like the Dallas and Warriors played earlier this year back to back.
Oh, that was a great
I don't
game.
know if you watched that game.
The second one
At
was
one
great.
okay, well let's talk about the first one. At one point, I swear, almost into halftime, 60% of the shots that went up were threes. I mean, it was literally a pickup game, right? It's like TNT. Remember, Charles Barkley said, "Oh, you guys like this stupid shit?" Like, and he was right. Like, and again, okay, the Warriors, it made sense. Remember, the Warriors didn't have a dude over 6'6" that game or some shit like that. For the Warriors, it makes sense. The Mavs are a slower paced team compared to the league, right? How Luka plays, Porzingis, right? And they were just running up and down and just chucking threes. And who the Mavs ended up losing to a team that didn't have a center when they have a 7-foot center. And that's my biggest thing, like, everyone gets like, why are the Cavs playing fast and chucking threes up? You know, it doesn't make sense to me. You look in New York. New York is the slowest paced team in the league that, obviously with Thibodeau, emphasizes defense. And look at, you know what I mean? They're having success. And again, it's not like the Cavs they play harder on defense than other teams, but they just get caught. I feel like teams get easily caught up that we need to go fast. And I understand that you want better looks, not to go against set defenses, but I hope I get my point out. Like, not everyone should be doing it.
Yeah.
And, you know, for example, you know who doesn't do it? The Lakers. The Lakers play slow. The Lakers play defense night in, night out more than anyone in this league. Even more than the Knicks, in my opinion. Like, the Lakers come in night in, night out and play defense. And they always give themselves a chance. And that's why they're probably still the best team in the league. They come in, night out, and they play defense. And then when you match it with that talent, well, I mean, that's, you know. But, yeah, that's my whole thing. Let me see. Yeah, it just, you know, and that's, it leads, there is a lack of effort on defense at times, but just the pace and space, it's like if you pay attention to college football now, right? Like, you'll watch 90% of the college football is no huddle. And that doesn't mean people go fast, they just don't huddle no more. But a lot of teams will go tempo. Like, 45-38, you can watch a game in college football now, and it could be 45-38, and it was actually good defense played throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
It's just so many plays now. I feel the same thing with basketball. Like, if you miss a corner three, it's going to be a open layup or an open three going down the other way for teams, right? Like, that's just kind of how it is, and then you play fast. So I'm just keep on repeating myself, but that's my biggest thing. Is not everyone in the league should be doing it. And, you know, like, I don't know the Magic, but the Magic should be slow paced and grind it out. Like, whatever happened to, we don't have a single team like the Grizzlies no more with Zach Randolph, and people will go to the analytics part. You know, there is this, again, these are the best coaches in the world. They're not stupid. There is this, well, if we're not playing modern up pace, we're just, you know, we can't keep up. But you can still slow it down some and still shoot threes. Mm-hmm. You know, you can still throw the ball in the paint and still get them up there here and there on good opportunities. And that's
you just have to make those possessions count. That's the thing.
Yeah, true.
So you wanna put some numbers to this?
Yeah, for sure.
So what I did is I took the raw numbers of all the attempts and all the makes for the league from the 3-point line. So I took that instead of just taking, you know, just the average number of threes that teams are hitting and then just multiplying it by 72 or 82. I wanted to get some numbers that are a little more accurate. So
yeah, we know, Michael. You have a degree in math from UCLA. We understand.
I didn't do nothing too complicated. I just I just took all the numbers, put them into a Google sheet, and then I started to use a couple of Excel formulas to try and map out what teams would just a projected number of 3-pointers that teams would make in a 72-game season and in an 82-game season. The 82-game season projections are pretty interesting, I would say. So just to give some context. So the Cavs, they're shooting threes. They're as of right now, their 82-game 3-point makes pace. 10 years ago, they would have been number one. 9 years ago, they would have been number one. 8 years ago, they would have been number one. You go back to 2013, they would have been third. So as of right now, compared to back then, they're shooting a lot of threes. This season, they're projected to be easily the last. They're they're
and And just to add into that, like I threw the Cavs out there for a reason. I know they don't play as fast as everybody else, and I know they don't shoot as much as threes as everybody else. But I watch games where I watch them, like I watch them play the Nuggets, and the Nuggets, who are also actually slower pace, and that has a lot to do with Jokic. But watch them play the Nuggets, and the Nuggets started going up and down, and then the Cavs started doing it, and then started chucking everything. And I'm going, why? You know what I mean? That's my point. Like, man. Why? But there you go. Just that's your that. So that's a team that still, when you watch them, they play fast and they shoot it up, and they're the lead. They're shooting the least amount of threes in the league right now. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. You watch them.
And what number is that?
So they're projected in an 82 game season. They're projected to hit 738 threes. And second least is the New York Knicks. And the Knicks are projected, according to my calculations, they're projected to hit about 60 more threes than them.
Yeah, see, and that's crazy, and that's that's my point. And again, three is more than two. So yeah, when the other, we see it with the Jazz, like the Jazz's crazy run they've been on. There are games where you look at the percentage, and they're shooting worse than the other team, but they do take as so much more threes. So yeah, teams do have to put it up now. They're just numbers wise, it does make sense, but I just think it's to the point where you can be more selective at least, and like I said, slow it down some to give yourself a chance. Because if you slow it down, that naturally slows down the other team a bit also.
Yeah.
Again, unless you're slowing it down and turning it over and can't hit nothing, and they could just get rebounds and run, but then you fucking suck, and no matter what you do, it's gonna change shit.
So just to give a little more context. So the Warriors from 2014 to 2019, that was basically what everyone calls their dynasty, where they won all those championships, had great offenses, especially in the first 2 years before KD got there. They were seen as some beautiful basketball, moving the ball around, taking a lot of threes. So in 2015, 2016, they became the first team in league history to hit over 1,000 threes in a season. So, like I said earlier, the Cavs are projected to hit 738 threes in a season. And back in 2015, 2016, the Warriors hit 1,077 threes in one season. That absolutely smashed the previous record. And now, if you took a look at these numbers that I have, so their most prolific 3-point shooting season in their dynasty, this season, they wouldn't even be a top 10 3-point shooting team in terms of just raw makes.
Yeah, see, that's insane. And that's the greatest shooting team of all time.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's the greatest shooting team of all time.
That year, they were the only team to hit over 1,000 threes in a season. They were the first team to do it. This season, if it were an 82-game season, do you know how many teams would hit over 1,000 threes?
10.
Guess again.
It's more than that?
More than that.
Oh, wow. 15. It can't be more than 15.
This season, 20 teams.
Wow, dude.
So
that's insane.
It could be 19. The Celtics, according to my calculations, they're projected to 999.9. I give them 1,000. So 20 teams.
Do you have the name of the teams that wouldn't hit that?
Yes. So the Pacers, Magic, Pelicans, Wizards, Spurs, Grizzlies, Lakers, 76ers, Knicks, and Cavaliers.
So kind of half and half with playoff teams and non-playoff teams.
Yeah, so that's also one of the things that supports your point. Just because you're shooting a lot of threes doesn't necessarily mean you should. There are clearly teams here that aren't going to hit 1,000 threes in a season. You see the Sixers, the Lakers, the Pelicans are starting to play really well. The Pacers, those teams are clearly playoff teams. Besides the Pelicans may not necessarily be there right now, but there's playoff teams in here.
I was hoping you were going to clarify that.
Yeah. The Pelicans they're starting to play like a playoff team. Their record isn't there yet, but yeah, there's clearly playoff teams in here. The Sixers are the best team in the East. They're projected, according to my calculations, they're going to be the third least in the league, and they're still the best team in the East. So it doesn't necessarily correlate shooting a lot of threes and making a lot of threes and how well your team does.
Yeah, I mean, it. Like you said, there's other things to basketball than the three, right? Yeah. How are you? What type of looks are you getting? Because the Lakers aren't a bad 3-point shooting team. The Sixers aren't a bad. I know Danny Green and Seth Curry aren't shooting like they used to, but they still have shooters around them. So again, the shot selection still has a lot to do with how are you going to shoot from three, and if you're going to be effective doing it.
Mm-hmm. So a little more context. So the Rockets in 2018-2019, they set the league record for made threes in a season. They beat their previous record. They just smashed the Warriors' previous record. So in 2018-2019, they hit 1,323 3-pointers in one season. And the next best team made 218 less. It's absolutely wild. They hit so many threes.
And the Jazz are going to just absolutely wreck that this season.
Guess how many teams are...
72 games, huh?
More
teams.
Since it's a 72... since it might be 72 games, like, they probably won't beat the Rockets' record. But if it were an 82-game season, 2 teams are actually projected to beat their record. Yes.
That's more than I thought. I thought it would just be the Jazz. I didn't know another team would be.
It's also the Blazers as well. The Blazers are shooting a lot of threes and making a lot of them.
Okay, so here's that again. This is my thing. Like now there is a lack of defense at times. There's a lack of D and there's a lack of effort. Like that's for sure in today's NBA. But the style of play, like you look at the Blazers with the injuries they have, and it perplexes me. Okay. Lillard and Cantor are liabilities. I understand that defensively. Like, Cantor is, oh, God. Cantor is bad.
Can't play Cantor.
Lillard can be, yeah. Lillard can be very bad also. In big moments, he obviously plays down the stretch. He's trying to win, so he's not bad. Terrible then, but he can be bad throughout the game. But then you go Gary Trent Jr., Derek Jones Jr., Robert Covington. And you go... Well, that shouldn't be that bad of a starting 5. Like, those are 3 wing guys that should be able to defend. Well, the Blazers are terrible defensively. You look at the Pelicans. The Pelicans were like the best offensive team this last month and a half. They didn't get too many wins. Even though they're playing better, they still didn't get too many wins. They had Lonzo Ball and Eric Bledsoe. Ingram, who is long as shit. Zion and Steven Adams. And they're one of the worst defensive teams in the league. And it's just crazy. The Bucks, now, like, again, the Bucks play so fast that they give up so many points as well. Right? The Bucks used to be a good defensive team. Now they're kind of just average.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. So the way people play now, it forces an offensive game. And that's why I just think other teams can take advantage of it a little more by just slowing it down.
Mm-hmm.
And, forget not shoot threes. Like, honestly, I think just slowing the pace down will help you. Still, if you still can get good looks, I know playing fast gets you better looks most of the time and stuff like that. But I think it's just the pace is where I'm at. Like, I feel like teams, if they just slow it down a little, they can change the game and help themselves out.
Mm-hmm. You wanna I was taking a look at the numbers compared to last season. So it's very clear that the league, everyone is taking more threes, but not only are they taking more threes, they're hitting a higher percentage of them. Last year, the league took 38.4% of their shots from 3-point range. This year, they're taking 39%. So and you're talking about thousands of attempts. So 1% is literally hundreds of more attempts. And then not only that, the league on average is hitting 36.8% of their threes. Last year it was 35.8%. So they're hitting and taking more threes. And you want to hear something crazy? Guess what the league on I'll just tell you. On average, the league is hitting just about 40% of their corner threes. The whole league.
Yeah, see that's again it's some of it is guys are so skilled. When you look at that and you say, well, if we can shoot more threes and make more threes, why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Right? And again, the lack of defense doesn't help at times. But yeah, like I said, it's not all. Like I said in the beginning, some of it is guys are just so everyone can shoot now and everyone can space the floor. It gets hard to defend, and you still want to take away layups, right? Like every team to a point still is gonna help and still pack the paint, right? Because you can't give up straight up line drives and threes, line drives and layups. And, with the spacing of it, it's, obviously it's leading to all this. So, again, I understand, it makes sense. That's why I'm not trying to be like the old, I don't think we should move the 3-point line back. If Dame and Curry and these guys or LeBron keep hitting these threes, maybe we do need to move it back a little bit because, like, some of these guys are hitting shit where, defenses aren't even coming out that far to, contest even those guys. But yeah, so it's a double-edged sword. There's both sides of it, but again, and also it always change. The playoffs are always lower scoring too, right? Mm-hmm. Like the playoff, the intensity comes, less fouls. Those shots become tighter shots, right? Guys miss some more shots because there's a lot more pressure to them. So it is a little regular season thing. Like you said the other day we did an episode. I don't know how many years, but you pretty much have to be a top 10 team to win defensive team to win a championship, correct?
Yep, exactly. You got to be right around at least top 10. At least close. Yeah. Like there's been teams that are number 11, but then they're like a few percentage points in a defensive rating. Like a few percentage points away from top 10. So by and large you have to be top 10.
Yeah. So defense is still needed to win, right? And again, that's why I say you don't we just got to outscore people. Nah, it won't work in your favor. Throughout the year.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we could probably wrap up part one because my Mac is about at 7%. So, yeah, we'll be right back to talk about teams that interest us.